Alright, play the theme.
So I've made references to this anime a few times in my other videos, like in my Mr. Pickles review. And given how the show looks on the DVD cover, it merely looks like a silly irrelevant anime about a magical girl who infiltrates a young boy's life and causes havoc. Sounds harmless, right?
Well, given this happens right before the theme song of the first episode, it's kinda debatable. Let's just get this over with.
The show is about Sakura Kusakabe, a normal 13-year-old student who was just living a normal life until Dokuro Mitsuki came into his life, and, well, you already saw this part. She ends up making his life a living hell. You see, originally she was sent 20 years into the past to assassinate Sakura for a horrible event in the future, but then decides to try to find a way to prevent him from making this a reality.
Well, that seems actually pretty noble of Dokuro. I mean, she's going out of her way to save Sakura's life and prevent him from being murdered by anyone else. The problem? She literally kills him for every little thing!
And I mean it. You know those animes from the early 2000s where it suffered greatly from the unprovoked pervert payback trope, where someone will be in the same room as a woman and they'll get brutally beaten up by the woman character for a ridiculous or petty reason and she'll justify it because he has a penis or whatever? Essentially, it's a tsundere that goes way over the deep end of the character and pretty much do whatever she wants to do.
You saw me naked, didn't you?
Huh?
That's too bad. Perhaps I need to reacquaint you with the memory erasing technique that my family's famous for. Taste my butler fury!
Well, let's just take a look at what a lovable character ends up doing to our protagonist. Dokuro, what was your excuse for killing him that time?
A mosquito!
A mosquito?
See?
Honestly, from a character like her, I would have expected less.
Okay, from what I looked up into the show, I do know this is meant to be an exaggerated parody of all those magical girl animes you see all the time. But like in any circumstance, there is a limit. So after Dokuro is introduced at Sakura's school, she shows that she's an angel to the class despite promising that she wouldn't, and literally everyone is completely chill about it.
Class, did everyone hear that? Dokuro-Chan is an angel, and even though she's an angel, you're not allowed to leave her out.
Everyone's okay with that?
No one ever questions how she's able to turn students into animals, nor do they ever react to seeing Sakura being gruesomely murdered by Dokuro.
Though to be fair, I mean, when you know how little they respect Sakura in this show, it's not too far-fetched they want to care when he gets killed. I mean, these guys are completely irredeemable bungholes. But, I'll get to that in a bit.
So throughout the first episode, which are actually 13-minute shorts with credits, Sakura gets tortured and embarrassed by Dokuro's antics, to the point that she ends up revealing personal information where he keeps his dirty magazines, to which many students and even teachers end up laughing at.
You know, aside from Dokuro being completely useless in every way, I never saw what was so funny or taboo about a teenager having dirty magazines to begin with. Hell, nowadays people can go online and rub one off on weird things without shame. It's a new age.
So Sakura finally snaps and is on his way to kill her,
If only.
and accidentally slams into Sabato-chan, and seemingly seems to start a bond with her, only to find out after commercial break that he had imagined all that, and apparently he knocked her hard enough to make her spread brain matter all over the floor. And it's never explained why he suddenly had this fake out moment. So after reusing the previous scene, but with more awkwardness, Sabato tries to invite Sakura to somewhere private, only to moments later reveal that she's planning to kill him. You know, off topic, this is probably one of my favorite characters of the show, given that she's always polite and friendly, even when she's about to murder someone.
I forgot to introduce myself. How silly of me. I'm Sabato. I'm an angel who came here from the future world. I've been looking forward to meeting you.
It's like killing someone in the Purge and then thanking the victim graciously for the opportunity.
So after Dokuro finds and kills Sakura because
You were trying to kidnap Sabato.
Not even! She was trying to kidnap me!
Yeah, I guess if you have a penis in these kind of shows, everyone just automatically assumes the worst out of you.
Dokuro tries to convince Sakura that she's not a traitor angel, while harming him intentionally.
Good lesson there. Hey guys, the next time someone doesn't agree with your opinion, you should just maim them repeatedly until they do. I mean, come on, it always works with Teen Titans Go.
So Sabato tricks Sakura into removing Dokuro's halo by acting very horny.
The truth is that I'm willing to go all the way. Do you believe me? If I don't get some relief, I'll end up being all hot and bothered and I won't be able to sleep.
Not what I would do to essentially murder somebody, but it ends up working as Sakura ends up in pain from touching the halo because...
Ah, damn it! How did I forget? Dokuro-Chan's halo has the power to slice and dice like a Japanese samurai sword!
That's oddly specific.
And then we get a nightmare face from Dokuro-Chan, which I won't show you if you want to keep down your lunch, and she runs off because apparently when an angel's halo is taken away, they end up getting
explosive diarrhea.
And afterwards, Sabato tries to kill Sakura and fails miserably. And of course, when she ends up getting hurt due to her own stupidity, everyone assumes Sakura caused it and deserves to die. I'm not even joking.
Sakura-kun must die for his wicked ways.
I'm afraid death is the only punishment fitting for your crime.
Oh, but it just gets worse. Sabato finally explains why Sakura needs to die.
This is the cafeteria at the all-female college.
What? They look like elementary school kids.
Yes, that's because these images show the future world's advanced immortality technology. And the person who accidentally discovers this technology is...
What's it me?
Yeah, right.
So Dokuro explains her reason for helping Sakura.
I want to save the future without having to kill Sakura-kun!
Suddenly everything made sense. How she would always get in my way whenever I tried to study. That was all an effort to stop me from discovering the technology for immortality.
Huh. Well, that was actually a very nice gesture. But only one little problem. Why couldn't you explain yourself to Sakura to begin with?
I mean, so far, all she's done is prevent him from doing his homework and killing him over and over again. If you had simply explained your plan to him, it would have prevented him from taking your halo in the first place.
What do all of those images have to do with immortality?
Everything, because the technology for immortality came about accidentally when you were trying to create a world to suit your Lolita complex.
What?
To prevent that from ever happening, you disgusting pedophile!
Yeah, that's the vibe I got from him. The pedophile.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's only 13 right now, and maybe found out later in his life that he's sexually attracted to younger women, but so far, he hasn't shown anything pedalicious.
You know, the more I think about it, he barely has any dirty thoughts about women either.
I mean, yeah, he does on occasion, like any hormone-filled teenager, but for the most part, he's like the show's Hank Hill, given how polite and careful he is around women, and usually is the straight man to all the madness, unlike his classmates. Yeah, let's talk about these a-holes. All they do is belittle and physically harm Sakura at every chance they get, and it's even worse when they find out that apparently he'll create a roll of lollies. To be fair, you could argue that if an angel came to your time period and showed you physical evidence that your friend will create a pedophile's role of sorts, then you would be very conflicted about said friend. But these jerks automatically despise Sakura, not even questioning any possible motivation for why he would create said world. I mean, I would at least be a little interested from his perspective, why he would even consider doing it.
We can't judge someone on the actions he's yet to commit, no matter how bad we think they are.
It doesn't help to mention that these guys are shown to be major hypocrites later on in the series when they see another angel that is 9 years old and just so happens to have a young adult's body for some reason.
How old are you?
I am 9 years old.
Are you able to take a bath on your own yet?
I'm afraid to do it all by myself.
Fuck, when he entered the classroom in the previous episode, they were throwing around the paddle cart around before this information was even made public.
Is that the new transfer student? That's her, right? Why, you pedophile!
Talk about needing to proofread a script.
The worst case of this is in the 5th episode, where after being lost for hours during a camping trip, it seems that the other students do actually care about him enough to wait for dinner, and even let Sakura have dinner first due to him being lost for so long and needing food. It's actually almost heartwarming, to be honest. Until it's revealed that they only gave him said food because they wanted to see if it was toxic to eat or not, thanks to Dokuro adding mushrooms that she found in the bathroom. It is, and they merely leave Sakura there in pain. Like I said before, irredeemable. The only one to trust Sakura and treat him with any respect is his love interest, Shizuki-chan.
Now, I know this may seem contrived, and in the anime it is, but it's much more explained in the manga.
In the manga, we have more than enough time to know that Sakura and Shizuki knew each other since childhood and are very close friends. I could buy there why she would still stick with him after finding out what he might end up doing in the future. So after an anticlimactic fight, which results in Sabato also losing her halo and making repulsive faces in the process, something that the manga never showed or made reference to, mind you, Sakura ends up talking to Dokuro and ends up thanking her for protecting him, only for her to take back her halo and automatically kill him again even though he apologized.
Now, I want to take this scene and put it to the side right now. I'm going to save it for later.
Throughout the next 4 episodes, random shenanigans ensue. This includes Sakura and Shizuki helping classmates fall in love, only for Dokuro to make things awkward. Sakura and Shizuki going to see a movie, only for Dokuro to annoy Sakura and for Sabato to try and kill him again. And the next 2 episodes are basically camping episodes, with Dokuro constantly fucking around with him. To be fair, episodes 3 and 6 are somewhat heartwarming at times, with Dokuro and Sakura actually somewhat bonding as friends and helping out others. He even ended up finding Shizuki when she got lost on the trail that the classmates were on previously. The final 2 episodes are about Dokuro-Chan making and forcing a wood drawing club to be made so Sakura can be part of it so she'll prevent him from creating an immoral world. Too bad she's very harmful to him when he tries to deny this offer.
You aim for that spot on purpose, now everyone's gonna know you're crazy! I'll do whatever you want, I'll join the woodworking glue club, alright?
After a scene of students playing dodgeball with basketballs,
It's Japan, what do you expect?
the classmates force Sakura to play with an Ouija board with Dokuro, despite that he's afraid of it because his classmates are dicks as mentioned before. And after Dokuro tries to kill him again, he's saved briefly by her sister Sakura-chan.
Long time no see, my older sister.
Older sister?
Yes, she's my big sister.
Wait, what?
Is it true that you're really her little sister?
Seriously?
Really?
But
You're
how?
younger than her?
You swear it's true?
Really?
What's your favorite part of your body? Tell us your measurements! Seriously, how old are you?
I am 9 years old.
Okay, let's just pretend the clip from earlier that I showed her about her age and stuff, that didn't happen in the review. It's just gone. Poof. And, you know, just for suspension of disbelief, because I can't believe they're actually rolling with this. I mean, she looks like she's almost an adult. In fact, she kind of does look like an adult. She looks like she's in her early 20s. It's like the show's trying to promote pedophilia as a good thing.
It's not even hand-waved as her having a medical condition that makes her age quicker or something like that. We can just presume that the author of this manga was just a wonky pervert. Now I should address that in Japan, the age of consent is 13 years old, while in North America, the lowest age is between 16 to 18, depending on state. With Japanese law, it's too complicated for me to fully understand as I do this review, and I don't want to give you guys any wrong information. If you're curious, look online and try to look hard to make sure you're getting the right information, so you don't land yourself in the slammer.
What I'm trying to get across here is that it seems as if the creator made this specifically to help someone get the rocks off to this kind of thing, you know, given the design of the character.
It's then shown how hypocritical the other students are to Sakura, as they almost cream themselves around Sakura. This results in them beating him up again, as they probably assume that he's gonna have a 3-way with the angels or something. And I thought Meg Griffin was the definitive butt monkey. But I've been proven wrong. So Sakura explains why she's here.
I've come here to bring you back home.
Really? You mean it? You're here to take Dokuro-chan back to the future so she won't be sneaking around trying to kill me anymore?
I think Sakura's response is pretty fitting.
No way, it's Sakura-chan! Run for your life before it's too late! I'll take care of this. Watch me stop her in her tracks. Here I go!
You know, it just occurred to me that he's just as much of a butt monkey as Sakura.
What is the name of the chromosome that only men have?
Y chromosome!
Correct! That proves you're the culprit!
Give or take.
So Dokuro escapes Sakura's ShamWow.
The murderous wet tail echo sacs!
Yeah, I know, but me no speak Japanese.
Sakura goes to look for her. And of course, we get the male students blindly following her because she is a hot angel. Wait a minute, why are the female students following her too?
What? Not the girls too? What are you people thinking?
This show might be more homo-friendly than I thought.
So being the only one left in the classroom, Shizuki ends up discussing with Sakura about Dokuro.
Dokuro-chan is obligated to go back to the future world.
You do realize if that happens, then we'll probably never ever be able to see her again.
And is that something you'll be able to accept? She's done nothing this whole time but try to ruin your life.
Thank you! I'm glad someone points this out besides Sakura. Wait, why didn't you point this out to begin with?
It'll make me sad to see Dokuro-chan go too. I bet we're the only class in the whole school who's ever had a real live angel friend.
True, but that other school down the block happened to have a student find a magical book which could kill people when he wrote people's names into it, resulting in him becoming mad with power and proclaiming himself as Kira. But come on, that would have been way too exciting. Wait, where was I going with this?
So afterwards, Sakura goes home and finds Dokuro in his closet as they talk about his future.
We're not gonna make it to the national tournament, are we? The Woodworking Glue Club. I worked really hard on it. Promise that you'll do your best to be #1 in the nation.
I can't promise that.
Promise me! Promise me, Sakura-kun.
Okay. If you wanted this to be the big tearjerker scene, you know, the moment where everything accumulates finally to the end, just everything from the past finally comes together. All the time that she's made her sacrifices, Dokuro's helped him out and tried to be supportive and try to help him out and be nice. And I know I said help out twice, but I'm not thinking right now. And everything that's built up to this point, the moment that she cries, looks at the camera, just pathetically looks at the camera, just in defeat, it makes you realize it didn't work.
Remember with at least the first episode, whenever she would harm Sakura, she would at least apologize or be horrified by her actions? Well, the remaining 95% of the series shows Dokuro to be a malicious and manipulative creature that more often than not purposely harms Sakura because she enjoys it. I mean, remember the opening lyrics to this show? She more than not goes out of her way to maim him later on just for shits and giggles. Only rarely is she actually helpful to him. And even then she manages to mess it up in an over-the-top way. So when we get this moment of her essentially crying crocodile tears, I don't feel any sympathy towards her endeavors. It doesn't feel real, it just feels forced. I mean, only the first and last 2 episodes of this show is about the issue of Sakura creating a lolly world.
I understand you want to spend some time in the world trying to expand with a few filler episodes, with other characters, other scenarios here and there. But when you're limited to an OVA series that only have 4 half-an-hour episodes, you gotta make sure that the audience is completely knowledgeable about what the plot is and what the series is all about, so we can understand what the characters' motivations are. Otherwise, it just seems kind of half-assed.
So Sakura crashes in and puts Sakura through unbelievable pain because, well, that's all he's useful for. Makes you wonder why she isn't doing this to Dokuro since she's the one who's resisting.
I will now release you from Ekelzax. Thank you for cooperating, Sakura-san.
Cooperating? What the hell's wrong with you? He was just standing there minding his own business before you tried to turn him into a pretzel and rip him in half. And when he was asking you to stop, you were making it sound like he was the one being unreasonable.
Sakura now needs to make a decision, to keep Dokuro around, or to let her go.
To the future!
Yeah, that.
I've been confused right from the beginning. I kept asking myself, what's with her? How can she be an angel? She never does anything at all to help out around the house, and she's always so lazy.
Like Garfield! Wait, where did I get this from?
And she bludgeons me all the time with her club for no reason. It's mean and it's not fair.
Yes!
Ever since Dokuro-Chan came here, I can't think of a single thing that's gone right.
Thank you! He finally went through puberty and grew balls.
But even still, the last thing that I would ever want to do is send you back to the future world. You belong here!
What?
All I have to do is make sure not to invent that weird invention in the future. So what do you say? I promise, Dokuro-chan. Stay with me. We'll have fun.
Ow.
I mean, after everything she has put him through throughout these last, I'm presuming months, you actually want her to stay? After she's maimed you over and over again, embarrassed you just to be malicious, and has essentially driven everyone at school who was at least considered your friends at the time away, and to hate you for something that hasn't even happened yet, you want her to continue wrecking your life?
I could say that he's merely suffering from Stockholm Syndrome, in which Sakura is so browbeaten and abused by Dokuro, in more ways than one, that he is blindly sympathetic towards her despite everything that she's put him through. But like many people have mentioned before, and I'm bringing this back from earlier in the review, is that this is pretty much an over-the-top example of an abusive relationship.
I mean, think about it. The entire show is based on Dokuro outright lying for her own benefits, being manipulative, and forcing her opinions, beliefs, or ideas onto Sakura in the most violent ways possible. Besides trying to prevent him from being murdered from Sabato and distracting him long enough so he won't create a pale world, all she does is torment the poor guy into submission, to the point that he's completely used to the abuse given to him and pretty much accepts Dokuro-Chan for who she is. In fact, at this point, I'm pretty sure it would be abnormal if he wasn't killed on a daily basis anymore.
Something tells me that this god in this show is just letting this happen for shits and giggles. It's pretty much the show's way of saying, wow kid, even God hates you. You don't have a prayer.
All she's done is kill a teenager over and over again because Japan says it's okay when males get unfairly beaten or mutilated for no reason. And having the whole over-the-top cliche layered over the show doesn't excuse it from everything it's done to this poor guy. He would definitely be in a list of top 20 butt monkeys.
Sorry if I went on for a while there, it's just I've been holding back on the whole female-male abuse trope for a while and I thought this would be a good place to start.
So after hearing that he wants her to stay with him, Sakura still decides to take her back to the future to receive punishment. Thank you. Leaving Sakura there all alone. After a small meetup with Shizuki the next day for ice cream, Sakura is attacked by Sabato, who explains that Dokuro managed to escape from the future.
There's something really terrible happening right now in the future world. You see, that angel completely lost it, and now, well, everything's ruined.
So basically what the show is trying to say is that Dokuro had a massive temper tantrum and is basically causing havoc out of anger and spite. Not too far-fetched.
So while Sabato distracts Sakura long enough for him to escape, he makes it home to find her in his room. We get a callback to the first episode, and the series ends like this.
This is the story of me and Dokuro-Chan. I'm a pretty average teenage boy who began to fall for the little angel girl that came to stay with us. It's been a wild ride of bloodshed, courage, hope, and most of all, love.
Oh yes, love. I can't wait to wake up tomorrow with her being bludgeoned to death because of another misunderstanding, and have all my classmates continuously hate me over something that I haven't even done yet, and have my parents basically not being around because we like doing that 90s trope of only seeing the legs and maybe hearing the voices and that's it. Seems to happen a lot in cartoons. Anyway, I'm glad I finally got this series done, and now I can finally get on and do something else for my life. Goodbye! Wait, you made it another season. There's 2 seasons of this show? Okay, there is 2 seasons of this show. What the hell? What else do you guys have to talk about? I mean, the series is over. Everything is wrapped up. I mean, don't you want to do something else? Don't you want to watch ponies? I feel I had...
So yeah, despite that this series ended, 2 more half-hour OVA episodes were produced 2 years later with notable differences. This includes a different animation style, Sakura moving in for undisclosed reasons, and just pretty much being a filler season, as it doesn't explain in any way if Dokuro succeeded in preventing Sakura from creating a moral world to begin with.
So basically, this is an extension of the first series, but story-wise, it's non-existent.
Oh, also we got Dokuro being much more sexual on Sakura because...
I don't know, I just figured she got horny between seasons.
So in the second series, there's a premise where they have a sketching contest.
A sexing contest?
You wish.
An episode where the 3 main characters take a bath, and that's it. The episode's about the 2 angels getting frightened by a cute demon from a book that apparently eats people from cracks, and forcing Sakura to bathe with them so they won't be alone.
No way! I can't! You have to get naked in order to take a bath! There's no way I'll never be forgiven! Forget it!
Dude, you're being invited to a bath with 2 cute angel girls with the bikinis on. Take advantage of it!
We also have an episode where Sabato almost gets sent back to her time with her mother, only for all of them to be sucked into a prison and have to find a way out. I'll come back to this episode in a bit. The final episode is a Valentine's Day episode about Dokuro force-feeding mini chocolate versions of Sakura down his throat.
How's that? Tastes good? Is it yummy?
So I guess you could say that she forced him to deep-throat. I'm getting divided that joke wasn't funny.
Sakura finds out that the chocolate was laced with Binkan Sally Man hardcore sausage, which results in him becoming extremely sensitive to the touch. So Zansu helps Sakura out by setting them all up in a play to purify the sensitivity Sakura is suffering from. Only to realize that Zansu could have done this at the beginning at any time, after finding some rather sexual pictures of Sakura-chan in a mermaid outfit. You know, despite that she's fucking 9.
Those pictures are to be sent to Lulutia as documentation!
Seriously, who's supposed to be the pedophile on the show?
So the series ends with a bookend, and Sakura is once again killed. Although, given his sensitive state, it might have been a mercy kill.
Now, the episode I've been waiting to talk about before I finish this review is
Incidents happen in a secret room.
Essentially, in this episode, Sabato is being sent back to her present time, and her mother has to sit down with the group for her to say her goodbyes. But she changes her mind almost immediately and wants to stay, despite that she lives in a house of boxes and other materials and usually starves. Her mother refuses and sends her to a prison to take her home, but everyone ends up getting sucked in when they try to help Sabato out. This results in typical shenanigans of Sakura getting hurt due to Dokuro's impulsive choices on what levers she plays around with to try to find a way out.
But I really want to pull this one and you won't let me. It's turned up so straight and hard, it's just begging me to touch it.
Zanzu gets into the episode when he finds the prison and opens it to let them out, only for the doors to slam before they can escape. And Sansu gets beaten up for this happening despite that everyone just stood there when the doors were opening as opposed to actually going to the doors. When Sabato loses her halo before trying to prevent Sakura from being killed again, Sakura and Dokuro try the last lever, only to nearly fall into a deep dark chasm. And we get a nice shot of Dokuro dry humping a naked Sakura because near death makes the girl horny, I suppose. They are saved by Sakura, and a dazed Zanzu reveals that he has the key for the prison door.
You guys attacked me and knocked me out before I even got a chance to touch.
You know, I don't think you can really blame him that time. I mean, you guys did knock him out.
Afterwards, Sakura explains how despite that it doesn't seem that Sabato is learning much staying there, that it's actually a good experience for a train, to which her mother reluctantly lets her stay in the past.
Now, I know what you guys must be thinking. Why am I even talking about this episode specifically? It doesn't seem that much different from any other episode in the series. Well, this whole conflict of Sabato trying to stay in the past for training purposes literally makes no sense whatsoever in this OVA series.
You see, originally she was sent back to the past to assassinate Sakura, which never ended up happening due to Dokuro presumably changing the present timeline so he never ends up making said log world. And given that this is the second series, where there is no conflict and no reason to kill Sakura anymore, it makes no sense whatsoever that Sabato would want to stay in the past anymore, given that she lives outside in the freezing cold in pretty much a cardboard box. I mean seriously, what is the point of her staying around anymore unless she ends up killing Sakura?
I'm sure that this experience is good training for her.
Oh, for training purposes you say? Well, why can't you just go back to her time period and train there in a nice and warm building as opposed to starving every night due to not even being able to have money for food? And guess what? After this episode, she's never even seen it again. So this entire conflict was absolutely pointless. Again, I apologize for ranting so long. This has also been in the back burner for a while.
I think you guys already know this isn't the kind of show I would recommend, but I still got a good kick out of it.
Keep in mind, I watched this series when I was like 16, so my taste for better anime hadn't really kicked in yet, and I hadn't thought of the unfortunate implications that the show ends up displaying. Despite how much I've ranted on it today, in a way it's kind of a guilty pleasure series for me. Kind of like Your Time Is Up is just so bad it's good pasta. Everything I said in the review still stands, and then some. But if you want to watch the series and experience it firsthand, the entire series can be found via YouTube in both subbed and dubbed versions.
All I ask is that for anyone watching the series or is going through an abusive relationship right now, just to know that it's not healthy and that you should get the help that you need so that way you know that you do not deserve to be a punching bag, regardless of what gender you are. Anyway, thank you guys so much for getting through this review with me. This one was a bit of a doozy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta leave to put this classic into something that's more fame for the series. Well, that takes care of that. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I hope to see you next time because I'm going to be doing another Theory Times Creepypasta. So, what show are we going to be doing next time? Oh, you fucking king!
You disgusting pedophile!
I will not.
Come on. All right.
I gotta find the bathroom before it's too late. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Oh no!
Explosive diarrhea.
Help me!
Is that all?